Hello, my name's Vanessa Vallely and I'm CEO and founder of We Are the City. I'm here to talk to you today about our Rising Star Awards, which are currently open for nomination. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our history, and then I'm going to run through some timelines and some tips and tricks to enable you to craft a fantastic nomination. So first of all, just a little bit of history. We've been around for 10 years this year. We were the first awards that really focused on women in the middle of their careers. So there's lots of awards that are out there that focus on kind of senior women, but what we wanted to do is shine a spotlight on that middle. So you could be in your organisation doing incredible things, you could be doing things outside of work, but no one knows about it. So how do we create something that will highlight some of that incredible work? And for us, the awards isn't just about, let's give you an award, let's have a wonderful family, dinner and celebration. It's about what we do after. So I'll come on to that in a second. So we don't just have the 100 Rising Stars, we have a number of categories as well. So I will talk you through them. Plus we have the additional public vote award, but all will be explained. So just a little bit of background, as I said, we've been seeking incredible women since 2015. There's 950 Rising Stars, and they're more like a family, if I'm honest. Lots of friendships, lots of doors of opportunity. I'd like to think once you win a Rising Star award, you never forget that you're a Rising Star. There are no age limits on our awards. Anyone who identifies as a woman can nominate themselves. We take particular attention around our judges to make sure that every community is reflected. They hold wealth of experience in terms of their backgrounds on their industries. So do check out our judges. They're absolutely incredible. There's no cost to enter our awards at all. We don't believe that there should be a charge for such things. The other thing is, you don't have to be nominated by your company to enter. So someone else could nominate you, or you could nominate yourself. Now, we love self-nominations. No one tells your story like you do. So in terms of kind of who's won, here's just a little few pictures of some of our incredible winners. You've got the amazing Sonia Barlow of Like-Minded Females. You've got Liv Cook, who's a world champion freestyle footballer. You've got the wonderful Heather Melville, Chancellor of York. You've got Manisha Taylor, who's the women's coach at QPR. You've got the wonderful Jenny Garrett. You've got authors in abundance. We've got Queen's Honours. Natalie Campbell is one of ours. She's currently running for the mayor in the City of London. Every time I kind of turn on the TV or listen to the radio or I go on LinkedIn, there's one of our incredible Rising Stars doing things. Now, these ladies were fantastic long before we come along, but, through the awards, we were able to shine a light even more on some of the fantastic work that they're doing. So do go and look them up. And you can see all of the previous winners on our Rising Star website as well. So as I explained to you, what the awards do is we look for 100 women across 20 different industries. So we get all the nominations in, we shortlist 100 of those, and we celebrate them at an event at RBC, which happens in May. And then we end up with 100 winners, and they're the individuals that we kind of celebrate in July. So these are individuals you would nominate within the category that you work, so your industry. So for example, if you're in banking, you would nominate into the banking category. If you work in charity, you'd go into that category. But there's nothing to stop you entering a multitude of categories, because it may be that you do different things. So that's the 100. That's kind of what makes up Rising Stars 100. We then have a champion category. This is more for senior individuals, men or women that are championing women and gender equality at the side of their desks. So it's not their day jobs, but they're passionate about it. So that's a champion. So if you think about perhaps an individual that you've worked for, or somebody, a role model that just took you under their wing, you may want to pay it forward and nominate them for our champion award. We then have Men for Gender Balance. So this is for our male allies. So again, if you work with a gentleman that is out there championing for women and driving gender equity, let's put a nomination in for that gentleman, because they become role models, and it's wonderful to recognise that kind of active behaviour in terms of driving equality for us. Company, obviously, it has to be a company that are not just walking the walk, not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk, in terms of the initiatives and things that they're putting in to develop their female pipeline of talent. So that's a company award. And then we have our Global Achiever. So the Global Achiever can be any woman, anywhere over the the world doing incredible things across whatever industry they are working in. So they're the different award categories. So here's the awards categories themselves. So obviously all other industries, if you don't see your industry here, that's where your nomination needs to go. Advertising and media, banking and capital markets, charities, not-for-profits, defence, digital, diversity, EAs and PAs, education, academia, energy and utilities, entrepreneurs and startups, ESG, which is a global award. So whereby the rest of these categories are the UK, the global award and the one that I mentioned earlier are open globally. Healthcare is in there, insurance, investment management, the law, the Lynn Freeman Award, and just to give you a little bit of background on that, when we first ever started Rising Stars way back in 2015 in a very small venue, there was a lady that worked at Reed Smith called Lynn Freeman. And she was really passionate about seeing the awards to come to life. And she drove the sponsorship of these awards for us within her organisation, which is Reed Smith. And unfortunately, Lynn passed away before she had a chance to see these awards come to fruition. So we like to honour Lynn every single year. So that's why it's called the Lynn Freeman Award. We have professional services, property, science and engineering and technology. So you can enter any one of those. So in terms of timeline, obviously the nominations are open now. They're open to the 21st of March. Now I'm going to explain this two-step process, but basically by the 21st of March, the nominations need to be in and the supporting information for our judges. So that date is really, really important. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the nomination, but you could nominate today, for example, self-nominate, if that's what you chose to do. You'd get an email and a link to submit your supporting information. You can work on that as you go because you have the ability to save on our platform and then submit it even on the 20th or the 21st of March. My advice would be get it in before, just in case you're having computer problems. I've got every confidence in our platform, but it just gives you a few weeks to make sure you've got that absolutely right. We will announce the shortlist and we will invite those shortlisted individuals to our celebrations on the rooftop of the wonderful RBC HQ in the heart of the city. 200 women join us, some of our past winners, our judges, our sponsors. It's a fantastic night. We just, fantastic night. We just got to hope the sun remains out. So we then open something called the public vote. So the public vote is an extra award. Votes do not constitute winners of our categories because then it would just be a popularity contest. But it means anyone that's shortlisted can call for votes for this separate award. So we have a public vote winner. It's optional. You don't have to go in for it if you're shortlisted, but it's there. So we close the voting on the 20th of May. Well, so we have the shortlist event that I just alluded to. On the 28th, we announce the winners. And then we celebrate on the 17th of July. So that is a ticketed event. Obviously, we have to cover costs of venues and things like that. And London venues are very expensive. We try to keep it as low as possible. We subsidise it as well. But there'll be more information on that. But that's the big celebration. But what is equally important is kind of what comes after that and how we support our winners going forward. So obviously, with thanks to our partners on all of these awards. So Royal Bank of Canada that have been with us for the last 3 years as our headline sponsor, but all of the individual category sponsors who are really passionate about driving equity for women and personal development for women within their respective industries. So a big shout out to all of them. So you may be thinking, why enter the awards? Well, for me personally, I think it opens up lots of doors of opportunity. It provides that platform to tell your story. It showcases you as a role model. It gives you something to add to your LinkedIn, even if you're shortlisted or if you become an eventual winner. It helps raise visibility of your achievements. So there are all the reasons to kind of enter an award. And I believe one award leads to another. I see lots of our previous winners then going on to win other awards and things like that. So it just puts you on as kind of that platform of telling your story and trying to inspire others to follow in your footsteps. Now, one of the things you may be thinking is, oh God, do I really want to go down this route? Do I really want to enter an award? Because that imposter syndrome is probably loud in your ears going, have I done enough? Have I got a story to tell? I believe every woman has a story to tell. We've all climbed over adversities. We've all had, points in our career where we overcome something with a little bit of innovative thinking or perhaps taking risks or something like that. And my point to you all is, if you don't tell your story, who will? And if you're thinking of nominating someone else, I want you to think of the people around you and think, Who tells their story? Could it be me? You know, could I take 5 minutes out to cast a nomination for this individual? Often or not, when you're writing these nominations, it feels like bragging or boasting. And I've been there, you know, when I've been nominated for an award and I've got to do the supporting information, I've left it in my mailbox to the last possible minute because it feels uncomfortable, right? You know, I am this, I am that. But that's the story that we want. As I said to you earlier on, no one's going to tell your story like you do. It's not bragging. It's not boasting. If you get shortlisted or you've been nominated, putting it out there, you know, just tells people, actually, I'm trying to do more in the industry. And you will be surprised the amount of support that you get. So it's not bragging and it's not boasting. And again, don't worry about what other people think. At the end of the day, this is your progression and it's your story. So some of you may think, you know what, this award's not for me, and maybe this year it's not. Maybe that you'll come back next year, or maybe you'll look at some of the other amazing awards that are out there. But please don't think you haven't done enough. You know, even if you say, right, I'm going to enter this year just for the experience, you know, and then see where I kind of go from there. We'd love to see that nomination. So what makes a nomination a good read? So I've judged probably 30, 40 different sets of awards. I don't judge my own because there's too much bias. I want you to all win. So I get another, as I say, amazing judges to do it for me. But when I've read nominations in the past for other awards, I can tell if it's rushed. You know, if we ask you a question and we get a 1 to 2 sentence answer, I know as a judge, I'm thinking this person has rushed through it. They don't really want the award. I don't see the passion. I don't see the drive. So for me personally, I've already clicked off of that kind of nomination because it's such a short answer, or it's not, you know, you haven't told me a story. Captivate me, tell me your story, take me on your journey. And again, I'm talking as in my judge's voice here. I want to know your background. You don't have to delve into private stuff or anything like that, but it's something that you feel is relevant and important and you want to talk about it, by all means, you can include it. What have you overcome to get where you are? You know, where have you had to jump through hoops? Why has it been a little bit harder, but you've made it somehow through your own kind of passion and innovation? These answers shouldn't be pages and pages. I mean, we've put character limits on for a reason. We want you to be punchy. We want you to be succinct. We want you to answer the question in a way that gives us all the information we need to think, yep, right, I've got that. I'm going to kind of move on. I think what's really important, what some of our judges are looking for, is how you've paid it forward and how you've helped others as well. So, you know, that's what we want in our Rising Star winners. We want them to kind of go on to think, okay, I've got this platform. How do I use it for better effect? How do I go on to elevate others or to tell other stories? I talk about this thing called cause and effect. So it's very easy to write, well, I did this and just leave it there. What we're interested in is, okay, so you did that, but what was the impact of that? So the cause and effect, so the cause why you did it and the effect of your actions. So who did it impact? How many people did it impact? What did it lead to? Now, I'm not asking for example, you to have impacted thousands of people. You could have impacted 2 or 3, but it's a significant impact. So it's well worth a mention. So make sure that you give your sentences, your context, and your numbers. You know, that you run a project for 1,000 people. It was in a multitude of geographies. You know, you had limited budget. So I'm seeing all of these problems. And at the end of the story, I'm like, wow, kind of she came out at the top of that and she kind of smashed it in terms of her delivery. So think about that. So anything innovative, anything where you hit a problem and you use your own kind of mind to go, do you know what? There is another way around that. That's what we want to hear about. And I mentioned it earlier on, self-nominations are awesome. When I sit and read nominations for other awards and I feel like I'm with you, you're telling me a story and I'm involved and, you know, I'm captivated by what I'm reading. That's kind of what I want for our judges. And that comes in the way that you articulate, as I say, that story. So our judges are looking for, you meet the criteria for the awards. Obviously, you're not too senior. So these awards are for people that are not running very, very large teams. If you're running a small team, 5 to 6, absolutely fine. But you're not running like 20, 30 people, you know, in multiple geographies. You're not running a large P&L. So that's the first thing. You fit the criteria of the award that you're nominating for. That you spent time on that nomination, you've proofread it, you've checked it, maybe you've run it past someone else. As much as I say, I've got absolutely every confidence in our platform that it wouldn't lose your work, I always type something in and copy and paste it out to a Word document. You know, for that reason, you'll always have it for other awards that you might want to enter. So you're telling the story, and I mentioned that as well. Your achievements, your impact is there with all the bells and whistles. Again, they're paying it forward. If you've got anything like that, obviously they're looking for that. Examples of where you defied odds and where you've taken some risks and they've paid off. And maybe not. Maybe you've taken risks and they went horribly wrong, but you've kind of come back from it somehow. So our platform is tailored to us. You create an account with your details, and then that is your kind of login. Very easy for password resets because we always forget passwords. Category, if you so for example, you're doing a self-nomination, you would create the account and you choose the self-nomination. I'm nominating myself. And then you put all of the information in just for the initial part of the nomination. You'll then get an email. That email will give you a link to put your supporting information in. So this is the one that you can work on up until that closing date. So if you're doing a nomination for someone else, you would just nominate them. They get an email, you get an acknowledgement, they get an email, and they get the link to fill in their supporting information. Now, please do check your spam folders, because obviously this is coming from an email address that your internal systems and firewalls may not recognise. So it's really important that you check your spam. I was asked on another one of these calls that I've done, should we tell the person that we're nominating them? You can do. Or you may just want to drop, check your spam email or something like that. It's up to you if you want to tell them. We will chase people that have been nominated, so you don't have to say anything if you don't want to. So you can complete all of your information as long as that supporting information is in by the 21st. If you nominated someone on the 21st, they're going to have a really short window that we extend just for people that were nominated at the last minute to get their their supporting information back for us. So it really crunches them, because we only give people a couple of days, if they're nominated on the closing day. So nominate early and give people the chance to kind of put all their supporting information, and yourselves if you're doing a supporting self-nomination yourself. So again, all the details are down there. You can find it via the risingstars.wearethecity.com website, or you can access it from the wearethecity.com homepage as well. So important reminders for you all: don't underestimate your achievements. I'm a big fan of, blow your trumpet, toot your horn in a way that feels comfortable to you. So, nobody's going to know you've nominated yourself, and you never know, you might just get shortlisted and you might just become our winners. So we can keep it all between us. When you're doing your nomination, just another quick tip is sometimes a lot of you may have, or a number of you may have, different qualifications. We find if you list all of them, it takes up a lot of character count, so maybe pick out the top one or two and say that you've got a multitude of qualifications in your particular industry, and pick out the two latest ones or something like that. If you want to put some links in there, you're more than welcome to. What I would do is shorten the links to bit.ly links, use one of the link shorteners, because then that way you don't lose loads of characters as well in the character limit that we've set on each field. Again, the impact, I've talked to you about that, getting someone else to review. One of the things to remember, whatever you write in that initial bio is what we will publish. So we get a lot of people on announcement day going, can I change my bio? Can I change my headshot? Just remember that is, you'll tick to this to say that you'll give us permission, but that is what we're going to publish should you be shortlisted. So think about what you've got in your bio. Are you 100% happy with it? And would you be happy with it to go onto a website and be published? What you put in your supporting information is not published. That's strictly between us and our judges. And all of that data is purged, whether or not once you're shortlisted or when you win. So we get rid of all of the data off our servers. Get your headshot right. So making sure that you stick to our requirements, so we don't have a blurry headshot or anything like that, because if you are shortlisted, to look at our lovely pages with everyone's faces on, and then we've got a blurry headshot, or we've got half of a person cut off. So think about the headshot. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can do it on your phone. Just make sure that it's clear, and that we can see kind of who you are. Say what you write. I mentioned that as well. And remember, the closing date is the 21st of March, but please get your nominations in before that, so you have time to craft a beautiful story. So it's not just us that does awards. I judge a number of different awards. I've just listed a couple here. These are more than a couple. These are a number of different awards where I've had the honour of judging. Some I've had the honour of being part of, and there are loads of different awards that you can enter. So if this is your year and you want to start with us, that is great. But there is some resources here for you to go and have a look at some of maybe more industry specific awards that you might want to look at. So it just leaves me to wish you all the luck in the world. If you've got any questions whatsoever, you can email into info@ wearethecity.com. Thank you for listening. And again, hopefully I will see some of you as some of our Rising Star shortlisters and winners.